The year is 2031 and we are heading to France to begin a Youth to Gold versus my dad. And we are taking over the newly promoted clubs of Saint-Etienne and Auxerre, where we will take each other on until one of us wins the UEFA Champions League, accumulating points by winning competitions and selling players for huge profits. But this is Youth to Gold, so the rules are that we can only sign teenage players, and we are not allowed to use any players who are 30 years old or above from Season 2. And given that this is two newly promoted teams, we have our work cut out for us, especially because the finances aren't exactly that great for either club. But given that we are 5 years already into the future and have some fantastic talents around each team, just a few additions this summer will help us survive the drop in Season 1. We hope. Dad, we've adopted two teams, two fairly young teams in Auxerre and Saint-Etienne. We've just been promoted into League 1. We're going to use the Youth to Goal system to hopefully make one of them a Champions League winner. But as you can see, both been promoted into League 1, where PSG have been dominant. But right now, there's a new dog on top.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Well done, good start.
We'll get to that, though. Now, PSG has won the last 5 years. Nothing has changed in this world other than some of the players that they have signed have just made them even better. They've also got the likes of Martin Odegaard. They got Oli Werner as their manager. So we still got the big dragon to slay.
Yeah.
And we've started with some transfers, bringing them in. Now, we're looking from here above Tariq Lamptey and upwards. We joined them in the July. So these are all signings that were made beforehand. They don't count. But some of the signings that you did make, you didn't have that much money. You've done quite well, I think.
Yeah.
We've got Odu here for 325k. Not a bad little striker there. 19,
yeah.
Fairly
good.
Professional personality. Good pace.
Physicals weren't that bad neither, yeah.
Yeah. Then we've got Andy, and then the most random Colombian name, but his first name is Andy. Good right back.
Very good right back. Only 19 again, so I thought this was a really good buy for me, really. He's one for the future for definite.
Yeah, he's a fantastic starting player to only pick up for £2 million. Enrique Garcia, I think, is your most exciting player.
Yes.
You're sticking him in your second team.
Well, I aimed an am really, and I thought he's only 18. Is it too early to put him in? So yeah, I've took a chance really, and I've put him into the second team so he gets gameplay. Really, I wasn't sure whether he was going to get gameplay in the first team.
I would have locked him in. Model citizen personality, 5-star potential almost. I would have locked him in. Then we've got Masij Kramars, £1.4 million. Goalkeeper. You've gone early with the goalkeeper.
I've gone early, but I've always said it, when you see an early a goalkeeper this good this early, you've got to jump on it and get him.
Smart.
That's what I've done.
Yeah, it's very smart. He's only 19, resolute personality, got some decent base attributes as well with a 5-star potential. I think that's a really smart move, especially for £1.4 million.
Oh, it's a bargain, isn't it?
And then you got Rubilar for 650k, another striker coming in who's also in your second team, another player who's got a very good potential.
Yeah, so I've got two good sort of strikers coming through in the second team now, giving them gameplay. So 1 or 2 seasons time, they could be really good for me. Now
you're starting 11. We've seen a few of the players that you have got. Now we're looking obviously next season at getting rid of all the players who are 30 and above. You've got a fair amount of them.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
From here sort of upwards.
Yeah.
But that's always going to happen. That's 8 players. If you're looking at the starting 11, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that potentially is in your starting 11. But I've got a very similar situation going on at Saint-Etienne as well.
I've signed, what did I sign? 4 or 5 players anyway. I know 3 of them were strikers, but so there's a couple of positions I can fill already.
Yeah. Now, start of the season, we have already played each other. It was a nice 2-0 win for me, which means I do get a couple of points there. You got a player sent off. However, Dad, your first game of the season...
Yeah.
A win against PSG.
What a start I had, didn't I? I beat them and I thought, right, this is it. You're in for an Amrin. And then you beat me 2-0.
Yeah. Lovely start. But then a 3-1 win against Lorient. I think you're going to be quite safe, really. I think you shouldn't get relegated this season.
I'm looking at sort of mid-table. I'm sort of up and down at the moment with those type of results going on. But great start for morale of the team. So, yeah, I'm pleased with that.
All right, well, the players that I have brought in this Youth to Gold, I've started off, I've really targeted a good striker. Dad went for a goalkeeper. I targeted a striker. And I think I found him in Bosniak. £5.5 million. I think he's a quality talent. He's already a 4-star. It was a position that they were very much lacking at Saint-Etienne there. Perfectionist personality. Croatian, left-footed as well, so if I do go 2 up front, it's a lot easier to find a strike partner for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the look of him, and he's already scored quite a lot of goals for me already. But he's not the only players that we decided to bring in. We've got Joan Anton as well from Europa, who is another striker, gone into the second team. I don't really anticipate in using him anytime soon. He's also left-footed, hilariously. I think what I might do is just see how he is in a couple of seasons and maybe try and make a profit out of him. Don't think I'm going to get any points out of it, but money-wise, I might be all right. Alvaro Fernandez, though, is certainly a player that we are starting off with. At centre-back, you can see he's turned 20 in the summer. We had already signed him previously. Great natural fitness, but the jumping reach is slightly lacking. He's got perfectionist personality. He's right-footed. Another good potential on the game there. Then we have got Ersin Desin, who is a player I didn't sign. So this is from there downwards is the players I did not sign. So we've got sort of like 5 or 6 players who are in there who I didn't get. But that's going to be difficult to get rid of next year. They've only just signed a contract.
And he's 30 already.
So that's a goalkeeper right off the bat I'm going to struggle with, which is why we always do the youth to go, where you have to sell the players in the second season. They have got a good side, though, this Saint-Etienne side. They've got 2 good teams who are coming up. I'm starting off with a 5 at the back.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just think, right, we've got a good striker. We've got 2 very good wingers. Now, if you're looking at our best 11, it puts this guy in up front. I don't want him up front. I want him on the wing. He can play there, but I want Boziak up front. Now, our wingers, we've got this guy here, who is a new gen as well. French, came through the youth academy, looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Mercenary personality, I might look to try and sell him for money, because I don't think he'll get to the potential that maybe he has, and he always wants to leave, being that he's a mercenary. We've also got this guy who could play on the wings, but he's a natural striker. He's only got 11 finishing. Good pace, acceleration. He's more of a winger in my eyes.
Yeah, definitely,
Again, though, another player who's come through the Saint-Etienne Youth Academy.
Yeah.
They've got 2 very good players who've come through. It's another real reason why we wanted to pick these 2 teams. The rest of the side, though, I mean, we've got some good defenders in there. Gutierrez, who's a centre midfielder, who I think could be a fantastic player for us for the next few years. Lacks that natural fitness, so maybe a player I want to sell. But the fixture schedule at the start of the season, I've started very well. I've only dropped points against Nice. I even had the nice breast. Classic meme on my fixture schedule. Nice breast. A draw and then a 4-1 win against Brest. Lovely stuff. Yeah, we've started the season very well. Haven't really played anybody from the top boys yet.
No.
That's the challenge. So season number 1 is all about survival. Let's see how we play out. Season 1 was all about survival, and seeing as it's kind of 2 teams that we've adopted instead of built, we were both really happy with how it started. That being said, Dad struggled a lot more in comparison to my Saint-Etienne side, and it might be down to his goals. This top scorer this season was 27-year-old Conte, who only bagged 11 goals all year. On the flip side to this, my acquisition of goal scorer in Boziak proved a vital move in how we did this season in charge. As the Croatian was deadly, finishing the league top scorer behind Kofane at Rennes by 2, bagging himself 25 goals across the whole season, and even scored against Dad in the first fixture we faced off, which ended 2-0 victory for my Saint-Etienne side at home. The other fixture later on in the season was a much more tight affair, where Dad striker Conte scored the opening goal to give them the lead. But with Dad's Auxerre scrambling for as many points as possible in the bottom half to stay away from any danger, my Saint-Etienne side was chancing European qualification and equalised, leaving the game 1-1. Unfortunately though, with a loss to Strasbourg in the penultimate game, it cost us a spot in the top 6, and 7th place is where we landed, while Dad survived from the relegation playoffs by 4 points. However, this season's story didn't end there, as after defeating Red Star and Guingamp, we found ourselves in the Coupe de France semi-final, defeating Paris FC 3-0 to take us through to the final against Lyon. And after not winning the competition since the dominant spell in the 70s, the Saint-Etienne fans were so hungry to lift silverware again. Lyon, who had defeated Monaco in the semi-finals, who also knocked out PSG in the quarters, were the team who finished 1 spot above us in the league. But on this day, only one team really shown up, as we smashed them 3-0 and lifted the Coupe de France trophy, earning some extra points in Season 1. Well, a massive cup victory for Saint-Etienne.
How did you manage that?
Lovely stuff. Well, by the looks of it, keeping a clean sheet, because my defence was unbelievable. in this final, and we just were clinical with our shots. We had 11 shots on target, scored 3. It was a lovely stuff. A great win against Lyon. We were just lucky no PSG was around.
That's right, yeah. When they're knocked out, you got to jump in quickly.
That's it.
And you did.
We went on to finish in 7th place, just outside of European spots, but I think because we win the Coupe de France, we might actually get European football. So that's good.
Yeah.
Dad, you survived down the bottom there.
Yeah,
33 points.
I'm a little bit disappointed. I wanted to finish round about the 10th position. I felt that's where I was going to, but all right. I'm just below Nice and above Brest, so
yeah, you're in between Nice Brest.
Yeah, so happy days.
By the looks of it, you had a bad end of the season, which really cost you. From the likes of March onwards, you got 1 win. Yeah, you had Nice Brest yourself. Look.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
together. March downwards, you had 1 win against Guingamp, which is going to cost you.
I mean, that's what's cost me the middle of the table finish, really, isn't it? So there's a lot of points I've missed out on there.
Didn't drop any points against Saint-Etienne though. We had a nice little draw there at home for you. So you didn't pick up any points this season, but you didn't lose any extra there. However, the cup win does mean I win 5, which is a big points total already. And for finishing higher, I also get a couple of points. So it might be a little bit worse than what we thought. Now, this season, though, I think you lacked goals. You've got Conte scoring them with 11. Where's the rest of the players chipping in with goals? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's what I got to seriously look at now. I mean, he ain't going to be long. He ain't going to be around very much now, is he? Conte, he's 27 now, so I've only got 2 seasons that have been really left. So I've got to hope that the 2 young strikers that I've put into the second team are going to come through quite good. That's what I'm hoping for, really. Yeah,
you've got a fair amount of players to sell. You've got £6 million to spend, which isn't bad in Youth to Gold. You can find a couple of cheap gems like you had last year.
And hopefully I'll get a good bit of money for the 30 plus that I've got to get rid of.
Yeah, and it chops up the wages a little bit as well. They tend to be the highest paid wages. I have got a lot more players to get rid of because we didn't really look at this. I have got this amount of players. So you had 8, I've got 10 players that I need to get rid of.
Some of them played a lot of games for you as well.
They did. Yeah, they did. So that's going to be a challenge in summer to make sure we are safe in regards to players who are Youth to Gold, who disqualify themselves from Youth to Gold. But I do have £19 million. So the Coupe de France win, the fact that we probably are in Europe, Saint-Etienne have backed us. But the goal scorer of Bosniak was the main reason why we've done so well this year.
Yeah.
And Irigayen, who's got 11 goals and 12 assists, very good. Ruaba, who is on the other side, 9 goals, 10 assists, both very good. Also both wanted, which is interesting. And Irigayen is unhappy and wants to move to a bigger club. Do I cash in now? Well, that's the big question.
He's between 18 and 26, so... could be a nice little profit on him, couldn't it, really?
Yeah, it's a lot of money. He's only got 2 years left. Both of them have only got 2 years left on their deal as well. So definitely something to look into. Right, well, let's have a look at the points in season number 1. Season 1 points are Mega Luke with 8 and Dad with 0. With both of us excited to get spending, we also had to make sure we sold our players 30 years old or above, where I successfully raised another £11 million, which was also the same amount that Dad raised for his Auxerre side, doing the same thing. Target-wise, I was mainly focused on fullbacks as my first priority, as well as a new left winger, which did take me a while to find, but I eventually settled for Enrique. Dad spread his money out quite well across multiple cheap talents, and a lot of them were still making his first 11, with the highlight being a left winger for himself that cost him £3.3 million. But despite my better first season, it's Dad who began season 2 in much better form, unbeaten in his first 5 games so far. Right, Dad, season number 2. I spent big on fullbacks. I went for Mikkelsen from Bromby, £2.6 million for a good left back. Spirit, although he's right-footed, always a bit bizarre.
Yeah,
but
don't understand that.
No, but he's the best I could find anyway. From the Faroe Islands, which is kind of nice. Daniel Zak, though, from Victoria Paulsen, cost me £8 million. A lot of money for a right back. You could also play on the left-hand side. He's out for the next 4 to 8 weeks, though. Partially torn his hamstring. Good old curse that I've got. Yeah. But spirited personality again. 5-star potential, though. So does look quite good in the base of things. Then I went for a goalkeeper. You went for yours last year. I went for mine this year. £10 million. Henrik Larsson. Great name.
Yeah.
Norwegian, though, not Swedish. Has good base attributes for a goalkeeper. Fairly ambitious. Is a little bit... struggling with that. I did sign him before his 20th birthday, so it does say the 11th of the 6th there, which is June. I confirmed it before. He didn't join until the 14th when the transfer window was open. As long as you confirm it before the deal is played, then he counts as a sign-in. So Henrik Larsson has joined the club. Doesn't have the best potential. I think it's a bit of a stopgap goalkeeper for me.
I'm going to say
eventually I'll find a better one.
You spent 10 million on that one. You look at the keeper I saw on last season for 2 million.
Yeah.
He's a lot better than that keeper.
Way better. So, yeah. They weren't the only signings though. We've got 3 more players coming in with another £24 million going out. Now I did sell quite a lot of players, especially the 30-year-olds. We'll have a look at those in a sec. Padalinho is going to be a backup striker for me this year. Resolute personality, 19, Italian, looks quite good. And Paul Yak from Monaco, another £9 million spent on a good centre-back option. But again, I don't know whether I'm going to start this guy or not. He has been given game times already, but he's only a 2-star. I think he looks better than what a 2-star player in my
100%.
team suggests.
His physicals are very good for a 20-year-old. With only a 2-star, you'd look at it and think he was a bit more than that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think he might be all right there. Enrique, though, is definitely my star signing of the season. Took a while to get into the team, but a goal and an assist from Santos, £10 million. I think he is definitely the best player that I have brought in this summer. Very good player. We caught him right on the cusp as well. As you can see, he would have turned 20 the week or 2 weeks after on the night, so I needed to make a good decision there. It took me a while to raise the money to find a good left winger. He's the one I went for in the end.
Yeah, very good.
And I'm happy with it. Mercenary personality, a little bit worrying, but I think base attribute wise, he's good enough to get into the team. We're sticking with the same formation. We shouldn't really change it. And I'm not locking anyone in because I do think what it actually picks is suggesting quite a good side, which is why Enrique doesn't necessarily go into the first team and why necessarily the striker doesn't necessarily go in. But I'm happy with how it's started the season either way. Now, your signings, Dad, if we're looking at what you brought into the club, I think you've made a very good signing up front. The rest of the signings, though, some bargains in here.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Some absolute bargains. I mean, this guy here, the most ridiculous name from Thailand, left back, really good player option that you've got. Balanced personality is the worry.
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
risk.
Yeah.
We always say that.
He's 3-star already, though, so possibility to get into a 5.
But less than £1 million for him.
Yeah, very good.
Looks quality. Good signing to pick up. Then we got Brian Gomez from Melgar, 425k. Another good striker.
Yeah, very good physicals as well.
Peruvian player.
Yeah, my scouts are doing really well for me, I feel.
Yeah.
And that's what you've got to do. You've got to get your scouts out there and about to find the youngsters coming through. So, and this is what they've done for me here.
Another dodgy personality with a fickle personality.
Yeah, but sometimes you've got to take the chance. When you're getting them that cheap as well, it's worth a gamble.
Yeah. Vilches, another Peruvian, comes in. Right winger. Very good.
Yeah,
very quick.
quick.
A lot better than what you had there.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, he can play right across the attacking midfield area and possibly a striker if I want him, but on the right, that's going to be where I need him to play, yeah.
Okay, then we've got Yepes from Invagio, so very South American.
Yeah, scouts.
Which you do need to be careful with. Non-EU, you only allow 4 of them to register.
I can start struggling in a minute.
Attacking midfielder, though, looks really good.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Joaquim Yepes. The final signings, though, we've mentioned the striker, which is this guy here. We'll have a look at him in a sec. But Jonathan Lima from Peñarol, another Uruguayan, so this time. But he's gone out on loan.
Yeah. I've realised I'm sort of getting a few foreigners in, so definitely got to sort of send a few out on loan. And I could be doing the same as what you're doing. I could be getting these players in, sort of get them going through a few. I mean, Southampton, I give him a sort of a good time playing and all that. He's already played 5 games from the bollocks of it. So he could come back and I could sell him for a profit. So it's worth trying, really. Yeah,
definitely. And then we've got Igor Lutsenko from Rook. He is your main striker. Main signing, Ukrainian. Yeah. Was also a left winger like the one I brought in.
Yep.
He has started very well. 3 goals, 2 assists in 5 appearances.
Yeah, very good. So
fantastic player.
I've got sort of 2 really good wingers out of this sort of transfer window, so I'm quite pleased with this now.
Yeah, so obviously we mentioned there selling players do get you points. It takes a lot to get them, though. The profit has to be 30 million to get 3 points. 50 million profit. So if you sign him for 5 million, you have to sell him for 55 to get 5 points, and then £100 million profit does get you 10 points. But that's a big old points tally to get, and it's been achieved in the past.
Oh, it's been achieved,
when we've done youth
But the
to
problem
gold.
is 9 times out of 10 you're losing your best player then, and you don't really want to lose that player. So you keep your scouts going because you just never know. You just might find that little bargain that's worth 10 million, and you could sell a player that's worth 100 million. And they're just as good as each other.
Now, I am surprised you haven't locked anyone in up front. You're letting Conte stay up there.
Yeah.
Considering how bad the goals was last season.
Yeah, I'm sort of taking a chance really that the two wingers we've got coming in, they're going to sort of supply him, and he'll bang the goals in for me really, because he is a good striker, but he just didn't score enough goals last season. So
you've also got Brian O'Cole, who you need to make sure doesn't play that final game of the season because he's 29, unless the final game of the season doesn't come after his 30th birthday, because that would be breaking the rules. But you're risking it.
I'm risking it, yeah. It's a chance I've got to take. So I think I'm really sort of.
You should be all right. I think
it should be all right. Yeah.
We normally don't play that final game after. Let's have a look though, because my signings actually meant that I've got 0 players over the age of 27 in my team. So I've done very well to get rid of all of them, and I still have 24 players in there, which is great. Fixtures at the start of the season though, Dad, you're a little bit further ahead of me. I have lost to Nice 3-1, and I've also dropped points to both Le Havre and Reims, which isn't great, but I have beaten Strasbourg, Monaco, the two sides I would have thought would have struggled against. I've actually beaten them. But I am in the Europa League.
Ooh.
Thanks to that cup win. So
good.
a nice little Europa League debut for me already in season number 2. Can't say I'll stand a chance of winning it. There's some big old clubs in there. But just nice to be in the competition. The likes of Manchester United, AC Milan's in there as well. Porto is always Tottenham as well. It's going to be difficult to do anything in that competition. Your fixtures though, Dad, you've obviously started a lot better than me. You're unbeaten.
Yeah,
you've
really good
played
start.
Nice and dropped a couple of points to them, as well as Lyon.
Good thing as well, I'm scoring quite a few good goals, quite a lot of goals as well, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, a lot better than what it was last year. I mean, there's 13 goals in those 3 wins alone against Lorient, Brest and Angers.
Had a right good time at Brest, didn't I?
Oh yeah, 5-0 at home to Brest.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. All out for Brest it was. All right, season number 2 then. Let's see if Dad can claw back some points. It didn't take long for my Saint-Etienne side to catch up to Dad in the league table and even surpass him, with Bosniak on top form again, scoring 11 goals and getting 6 assists by the new year. 4 wins in the Europa League phase, including a big 1-0 win at Old Trafford, put me in good hooks for the competition. But too many draws, including the final league phase game, which was a 0-0 to Besiktas, stuck us in 9th place and having to play in the knockout playoffs. However, despite me creeping into the top 4 in the league table by the end of January and Dad being in 8th place, he absolutely walloped me 4-0 with a brace from Conte when we clashed in our first fixture. 5 months later, and we couldn't even get our own back at home, as this time Dad's team kept another clean sheet and caught us on the break high at the pitch, scoring the only goal of the game to win 1-0. Back in February though, after a 1-0 defeat in the first leg of the knockout playoffs in the Europa League, we fought back hard against Dinamo Kiev and pulled off a fantastic 4-2 win on the night, with a Duran brace to go through to face Real Sociedad. Unfortunately, this is where our European journey ended, however, as in the last minute of the second leg, Real Sociedad scored the winner to make it 7-6 on aggregate after a massive 4-goal comeback from us. In the Coupe de France, Dad went to a penalty shootout against Strasbourg in the 11th round, where his 8th penalty was saved and they exited the competition. However, after defeating Boulogne and Angers in the 11th round and quarterfinals, I found myself in another semi-final against Rennes, where after going a goal down early and levelling the score from the penalty spot, we took control of the game, scoring 2 more goals to send us into the final against PSG on the final day of the season. They had just been crowned champions of the league as well, but I was very happy to see the progress, as was Dad, as I finished in 5th place while Dad climbed the table into 8th. Surely though, PSG would be too much for us in the Coupe de France final. It's probably what everybody thought. However, yet again, we were there to defy the odds. And when we took the surprise lead, the PSG players' heads dropped. And in the second half, another fantastic counter-attack punished them again, with a second from Enrique, lifting back-to-back Coupe de France trophies. Well, actually, I managed to avoid them. This time I won it against them anyway.
Yeah, well done.
2-0 against PSG.
That's a good win.
Keeping a clean sheet against them. I mean,
Yeah,
Larsen's
very good.
done very well, but they only had 2 shots on target and 6 goals, 6 shots in total. And the possession was rather close.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we just
even
gave
game,
the
really.
ball and sat back.
Yeah.
We came at them very well, and we lifted the cup in back-to-back years, which
They
I'm
had some
very
good
happy
players in
with.
their team as well.
God, yeah. Well, they've gone on and won the league again, so it is no surprise that they've managed to do that. A lot better season for you, though, Dan.
Yeah, so that's the
8th
type of
place.
season I wanted last season, so really pleased with that.
11 points behind me, though.
Yeah, it's still a long way,
Yeah.
but I'm going the right direction. That's the main thing.
Definitely. Now, the other competitions, obviously the Europa League, we didn't get as far. We got to the round of 16. Real Sociedad, I mean, they let us score 4 goals. Well, 3 goals. We've pulled it back from being so far behind. And then they go and score in the 91st minute and win the tie, which is very frustrating. But we got through. We had a very good end of the season, which is nice to see. And points-wise, you do claim a couple of points today.
Yeah.
In this season for absolutely smashing me in both games without allowing me to score a goal.
I'm pleased with that.
Which isn't bad considering my top scorer, I mean, he only had 17, but he was very clinical again in the league this season. And he's developing quite well too after a good couple of seasons, developing quite nicely, which is good to see. But he was right behind him was Yusuf Ruaba, who on the wing was playing very well and scoring a lot of goals. Enrique in his debut season, 13 and 12, exactly what I was hoping to see
Yeah,
there.
definitely, yeah.
Not a lot of development, but we've got the numbers in from him, which is good. And Irigian is, again, a very good season, 12 and 10. So I've got a very good young front 4 there.
Well, when you look at it, you've got 5 players in double figures. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Do I chip in and sell one of them? No, there's bids already for all of them, as you can see, which isn't great. Malik Durand is a great player to have coming off the bench, though. He scored a number of good goals. And again, it's another player that came through the Saint-Etienne Youth Academy.
Yeah.
This has just been so good for us so far at the start to relying on these players. I do have a slight advantage that way. But recruitment-wise, we've got £20 million to spend this summer. Dad, yourself, I mean, now you've got one player who is now 30, Brian Acole. He needs to go.
Yeah.
Brian Acole needs to go. 28, though, after that is fine. And he was your top scorer. You might have been right to allow him to carry on
Yeah, he didn't let me
fighting
down.
for that position.
Yeah, he didn't let me down, but he's got one more season, that's it. He's got to go,
I
innit?
was going to say, is that harming the development of players like Enrique Garcia, who could have been in the first team and could have been a lot better of a player now?
It's a chance I took, innit? So,
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
We'll see. But outside of that, though, the players that you have brought in, Yepes was obviously your a player last season, I think it was, that you brought in. The left winger, 16 starts, 16 appearances off the bench. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
I thought he would be like a nailed-on player to play every
Yeah,
single
I might
game.
have to look and sort of think about locking him in to sort of give him that sort of time, really, you know?
Yeah. He has developed quite well, and he's
Yeah,
got
he's a
4
little bit
goals,
better.
6 assists when he has played.
Yeah.
Yeah, what could have been if you had locked in a couple of these players and seen how they play? Because Jonathan Lehman's playing quite a lot at Southampton. Bit of development. You're going to have him for next season.
Yeah.
You got to juggle all of these non-EU players because you're only allowed 4 of them in
That's the
France.
problem I got now, innit? Yeah.
That's the trouble. But you've been given £6 million again. But I think with a couple of player sales, you might be all right.
Yeah.
For season number 3. But if you want to check that out, you need to make sure you subscribe so you do not miss the next episode. Let's have a look at that points tally. Season 2 points are Omega Luke with 7 and Dad with 2, meaning the total points going into season 3 is Omega Luke with 15 and Dad with 2. So there we have it, 15-2 for points going into season number 3. I've got a big advantage. Make sure you subscribe and check out the next episode. If it's out, it's on screen right now to see if Dad can catch up.